Hi, TransByDef. Long time no see. Jenna here. I hope everybody's well. I absolutely miss you folks. I miss the whole group overall, and our sharing of our stories and our life experiences on this journey. I want to thank Kathy personally for stepping up and covering. She's done a really wonderful job, and so grateful. This week's topic, I watched Kathy's video in transgenders and suicide, and I figured it was time that I got back in the swing of things and put up my own experiences and thoughts on the subject. I get, and I don't want this to be taken wrong, I get why people commit suicide when they're transgender. I not only get it, but in a way, I accept it. Not all of us, and let me clarify that a little bit, because I know that that's really a reach for a lot of folks. Suicide is very selfish, but it's also a tool of preservation for folks that can't do it anymore. And I understand that, and I don't pass judgment. I think I've talked about this in some videos in the past. I don't pass judgment on someone because they committed suicide. Myself, back in the really dark days, I had a 9mm in my mouth, and I didn't pull a trigger. And the reason I didn't pull a trigger is because I just wanted to be myself for one day. And I figured if I did that, I would never know what it's like to be me. So, you know, for that reason, being alone in the woods, in the middle of the winter, in a sleeping bag, figuring that's where I was going to end it all. And I'm glad that I didn't. The term that we hear in the LGBT community is it gets better, and it does. When you think you can't do it anymore, it has a way of turning itself around, and over time heals all. So I really don't give anybody grief about it, and I have a really strong belief in that. I also believe in self-euthanization if you so choose to end pain in your life. So I guess they kind of run parallel to each other a little bit. I think the problem here today is young people, maybe more so because of the peer pressure aspects, have a harder time and opt out, especially with the family. And Kathy alluded to all this with family and job and not being accepted for who you are. Opt out. And we live in a time where things are changing, thank God, and we're moving forward, and our place and our acceptance is improving all the time. So I think as you see that happen, as families become more educated, you're going to see our numbers in suicides decrease. But don't look for a great swing, because we still have to get through all the growth of that, and society and jobs and school and family and housing and all those things, and then get through all the bad stuff in life, like drugs and alcohol and stuff, where they can amplify those feelings. So of the need to create your own demise. So I remember those dark days. I remember how painful that was, and crying. I actually saved my notes I had written in my journal that night, and when I look back, I saved it because I wanted it as a reminder of how far I've come. That it's very painful to read, and you know, I'm glad it didn't happen. So if you're, you know, somebody that's pondering that, I would say get professional help. For me, I toughed it out. I strong-willed it and you know, tight-fisted it till I got to the point where I felt better. But the immediate feelings of I'm gonna be okay was when I finally got a therapist and somebody that I could talk to about what was whirling in my head. Now, I did it through my EAP program at work, and met a wonderful guy, and the first questions they ask you, do you have any suicidal feelings? And they kind of ask these questions, they kind of dance around the subject a little bit, and I was pretty privy that I wasn't going to let them know that I was flaking. So I as much as they were digging, I was hiding that, but those feelings were there, but I denied it to them. I just told them I needed help, and I did. I mean, that part I was 100% sincere about, but the suicidal part I wanted to hold on to in case it was an option that had to be executed. But I didn't, and it all, you know, when I finally got to sit down with ultimately who became my full-time therapist through transition, life got good. Life got great. It didn't get good, it got great. Now, today I still have my high points and my weak points, but the thoughts of suicide really don't enter my mind anymore, you know. But there is that little piece of me that remembers that's always an option. And so that kind of scares me a little bit, that even though I didn't do it, the thought is there. I mean, if things got really bad, what would it take for me to commit suicide? And I think, you know, if I step back away from that and remove myself from it, looking at how far I've come and how much my life is full, you know, I don't really see it as an option anymore. But I think when it's like being addicted to a seed. Once you have had that experience, it kind of stays there as plan whatever, plan D or plan X. But it's not something that I've ever felt the need to have to execute. But it's, you know, it's like, you know, how much pain can you take before it's too much? You know, family, if I look at my family back when I started this, I think they wanted me dead. Or to go away, far, far away, which basically was dead. And my ex knew that I had, you know, suicidal tendencies, but really was too self-absorbed in what they were going through to really give me any care. And, you know, my own family I'm still kind of distanced from, though my oldest boy, who I hadn't talked to in so many years, finally came full circle. So I have one more kid to go, and I've gotten all that back, and my ex and I are like this today. Even made mention of when we retire living together, and I went, oh, no, it's not happening. I don't trust you. And I think I hurt her a little bit, but you know, suicide for us, because of our numbers and the stress we go through, is really consuming. So you know, I would really think twice, get help, 800 numbers, reach out to some of your friends with, be really sincere and from the heart. You know, when I said that I wasn't, you know, I was tight-fisting it and getting through that period of time when it probably would have been easier if I was sharing it with somebody. So just want to check in, say hello, and let you know that I'm still alive. And I look forward to everybody else's thoughts on this topic, because it is such a big one in our community with the amount of deaths that happen and carnage that's caused by transition and or being true to yourself, and the family and life pressures that go along with that. So peace. I hope summer comes and spring soon, because I'm tired of the cold, and I'm really looking forward to moving on. So Say goodbye. Bye. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.